Hi everyone, my name is Helga, and now I'm going to tell you a story about my hair, or rather about how I was bullied by everyone around me. You're probably imagining right now that I have floor-length braids that go in a 2-meter plume like Rapunzel. And you might think that is all very romantic and beautiful, but I'll stop you right there. Because it's not like that at all. Or rather, it was never like that. I'm familiar with memes about how girls who have curly hair want straight hair and vice versa. Girls who have long hair want short hair and vice versa. And then there's me, who always wants to be hairless, but can't. Why not? Because I'm from a strict family. My mother, who rules everything, forbids me from touching my hair, thinking that it's right, but it makes my life a nightmare. I remember standing in front of the bathroom mirror a couple of years ago and brushing my hair down to my knees. I was late for school, and I wanted to hurry to comb my plaits, braid them, and run, because that day was an important exam. So I was in a hurry, and I stood there, pulling the comb as hard as I could, and it hurt terribly, and I was going crazy. But I had to comb it out. At some point, I pulled so hard that my comb broke, and half of it got tangled in my hair. I hate my curls! What is it? What happened? That's what happened! This is the 6th comb this month, Mom. I can't take it anymore. I want to tear my hair out. Mom came up behind me and, as always, gently began to unravel the tangle little by little. She always did this, always persuading me not to touch my hair, and if I was hysterical anyway, she stupidly put me before the fact that I just had no right to touch it, or to cut it off. Daughter, your hair is beautiful. Anyone would want to have your hair. Not everyone knows how hard it is to live with it. Well, what's so hard about it? My head is heavy, no hat fits me, I can't comb my hair, and it takes me at least an hour just to wash it, then another hour to dry it, and another hour to comb it. I spent so much time on it, and I'm still a freak. Everybody still laughs at me and makes fun of me because of it. They're just jealous. No, they see that my hair is so long, not only on my head, Mom. Well, what do you want, daughter? It's natural. It's our nature. Mom, nature is one thing, but it's quite another when I can't wear shorts instead of pants and a t-shirt in summer heat instead of shirts because I have hairy legs, armpits, and arms. Are you doing it again? Yes, Mom, I'm at it again. How can you understand that my hair on my head does not distract people's attention? On the contrary, it attracts it, and people see that I have arm and leg hair like an orangutan. Yes, I'm already tired. Why can't I just remove unwanted hair? I told you already. You have no right to touch your hair, anywhere. I'm not letting you, okay? Then we heard the school bus pull up, and I ran out of the bathroom and went to school. On the bus already, everyone was laughing at me, and I was freaking out. Only in class did my teacher remove my comb, which got tangled up in a careless ponytail. As you may already understand, my hair was not only on my head, which made me suffer a lot already. I didn't understand the exact reason my mom wouldn't even let me shave my legs, but it was really awful. Since then, a couple of years have passed. Then my hair grew more on my head, and it started growing everywhere else too. I kept wanting to shave my arms and legs, but my mom would get straight up hysterical. One day, I tried to do it without her noticing while I was in the bathroom, but it was like my mom sensed it. Anyway, she almost kicked down the door, and then she made me swear that I would never do it again in my life. So that's how I had to live. At school, I still somehow managed to hide my hair thanks to long-sleeved clothes. Even in gym class, I wore a tight sweatshirt and pants, while the other girls raced in shorts. And then, something happened that ruined my life. We moved to another place, another town, and I had to go to a new school. It was a high school, and the guys there were much rougher and more observant. The first day, one girl yanked my braid so hard that it almost ripped off. And then, getting off of the bus, I didn't even notice that she had tied my hair to the handle of the seat, and as soon as the bus moved, I ran after my hair, screaming in fear and pain. I could have been sucked under the wheels, but I didn't even know who could have done it because everyone on the bus were strangers to me. I walked into class shattered. A good thing the driver responded quickly and stopped, but I fell on the ground and got dirty. They greeted me in class as Rapunzel, and then the nickname changed. They decided that I didn't look like a princess, so they started calling me Broom. A little later, I got another nickname, and about that, I'll tell you a little more about it. The first horrible 6 months were terrible, but at least I was not touched as often as I thought I would be. One winter's day before Christmas, our class was preparing a theatrical skit. I was involved as well, like everyone had to be. I had to be on time to bring scripts for the actors. That role suited me. Then one day, at the dress rehearsal, I mixed up the scripts and everything went wrong. The girls started scoffing, calling me stupid, and the main actor got so mad that she came up to me and pulled my jeans down. I was standing on the stage at that moment. Everyone saw my hairy, grown man-like legs, and in a second, the audience burst into laughter. Holy crap! Did you see that? She's got more hair than my butt. I've only seen that once, at the zoo. Listen, Helga, do you shampoo it? Listen, don't you shave your arms and stomach and other things? Huh. They yelled and laughed, and I pulled up my pants and cried. I wanted to run away, but they caught me again and took my sweater off. I was left in my t-shirt, and my hairy arms scared everyone and made them laugh too. She's the child of Bigfoot! That's right. They yelled after me. The teacher came in, and I was able to leave. I ran home in tears, and I fought with my mom. She just said that I shouldn't conform to other people's stupid opinions, so I grabbed the scissors from the table and directed them at my hair. No, don't do that, please. Why? Why, Mom? Why am I like this? Why are you doing this? And then she cried bitterly. She sat down on the floor and couldn't calm down. And then she suddenly said it was all her fault. What do you mean? It's my fault you're so hairy. Tell me! During pregnancy, I was deficient in some vitamins, but I thought it was evil and did not want to drink chemicals. The doctors warned me that my testosterone, the male hormone, was elevated and I needed to do something about it, but I still didn't listen. And then you were born. You even had hair on your ears. You were black as a monkey, and I couldn't believe you were even my baby. And then what? I started trying to shave it all off, doing it every month, then every week, then every day, and your hair grew faster and faster and longer until I stopped. And if you shave it or cut it now, it will grow even faster. How could you? Mom's story just killed me. How could she do that? Why do I have to suffer for her mistakes? I took great offense from her and didn't speak to her for a long time. I refused to go to school, and I stayed home depressed for a week. Well then, my tutor, came to our house. She said she knew about the bullying at school and apologized for letting it happen. You can apologize as much as you want. I won't come to school anymore anyway. But why? Because I'm a fucking Yeti now. And why don't you clean it up? Come on, Mom, do it. Tell her. After the story, the teacher was silent at first, and then she was like, but there are other ways to solve the problem, right? What are they? My sister does laser hair removal. The hair can be removed forever. Are you serious? Why didn't I know about it? Well, it's not as popular in this state yet, but she already has customers. I got up from the couch and ran to her. The teacher immediately signed me up for the salon, and I started going every 2 weeks. I got tested, and then the procedures began. It was not painful, not cheap, but most importantly, effective. After 3 months, I finally cut the hair on my head, and then gradually noticed that the hair on my legs and arms became less, and they also got thinner and more brittle. But I had to go through more than 15 procedures. That is, I went for 1.5 years, but I got the desired result. Now I have no unwanted hair at all, and I am so happy.
Can you imagine that there is a person with the longest arms in the world? This is despite the fact that I am a girl. How am I doing? I'll tell you right away. It's not easy. There are a lot of stories about the most ridiculous situations in my life. Listen further. Put likes and share my story with your friends. I am also waiting for your comments. Can you write your opinion about it? I will be happy to read it. My name is Nicole. I was born in a small, poor village in a developing country. When my parents got married, The whole village was against it because it was considered that my parents had a bad marriage, and all because my father already had a bride in mind, which his family promised him, but he disobeyed and decided to marry the one he loved, that is, my mother. My father's relatives considered my mother not equal to my father, since she was from a very poor family. Although my father wasn't exactly rich either, but it's all so complicated. Dad's family didn't even want to hear about father bringing home a girl they weren't happy about anymore. At first, my parents met in secret. By the way, they met by chance, at a market. My mother then sold vegetables and fruits, and my father went shopping. It was love at first sight. Many did not believe that their relationship would last. My mother came to my father's house in spite of everything and paid a lot for it. She was poorly received, humiliated in every possible way, but she endured everything. And then she and father decided to move out and live separately from everyone. Although my mother hid her resentment, she was worried in her heart, and almost every night she cried and prayed to God that it would all end soon. But it didn't end. It got worse. Soon, my mother became pregnant, and the stress and nervousness affected her child, that is, me. The birth was terribly difficult. And when I was born, the first thing the doctor said was that the girl's arms were too long. I looked like a monkey, small myself, but my hands were almost up to my knees. If you haven't noticed, then ordinary newborns have short arms and they grow over the years. It was different for me. This moment scared and embarrassed not only my parents, but my grandparents, who didn't even come to see me. They heard about their granddaughter's defect and said that our family was cursed by the ancestors themselves, allegedly because even they didn't want that marriage to happen. That's how I grew up. My parents did not accept my peculiarity positively, but they did not drag me to the doctors, because otherwise I was a normal, healthy baby. By the time I was 3 years old, I was more or less aware of what was happening around me. I even remember a couple of bright moments when I was getting on the bus, holding onto the handrail, and all the people were looking at my hand. I was so embarrassed at the time, I wanted to put it away, put it in my pocket, but I couldn't because it just didn't fit. All my sleeves and gloves were short for me, and for the winter, my mother knitted me special gloves so that they covered everything. At school, I was also looked at as an alien, but by that time, I was used to such views. I had some advantages in household chores. I could sweep the yard without even bending down. I could wash dishes while standing at the sink and at the same time reach the table where we had eaten. That is, I took a minimum amount of steps to the object to get it. Other than that, I was uncomfortable. I often cried because of complexes and asked my mother why I was like this and if I could somehow shorten my limbs. But my mother said that I was just special and should be proud of it. But I was not proud. I was embarrassed for my arms, which I could almost without bending down tie my shoelaces with, pick up a fallen thing, wipe the dust from the upper shelves, without standing on my toes. It all annoyed me. Well, when I grew up and became a teenager, my problems became even more. I remember how my classmates were going to go to a party where there was a strict dress code. Girls had to be in dresses. Since no dress matched my arms, I had to look for one with open sleeves. Can you imagine what I looked like? Like a clown. My mother gave me a beautiful hairstyle, bought shoes and a purse, but when I arrived at the party, all eyes were on me, where I should have felt almost like a queen. But when my classmates saw my arms, and that I had come in a dress for the first time, I just attracted attention. The girls giggled in the background, whispering and calling me an orangutan, and the boys told me not to get upset. But you must be good at climbing trees and picking bananas for yourself. They laughed. Then they took a picture of me and posted the photo online. I ran away that night in tears. I wanted to disappear or someone to get rid of me. It was terrible. And suddenly, an idea popped into my head. In a fit of emotion, I ran to my grandparents. I knew they weren't expecting me. My parents and I visited them very rarely, and they hardly played with me. I burst into their house screaming that it was all because of their curse, and if it wasn't for them, I would be living happily. Those dumbfounded old people tried to calm me down and called my parents to pick me up. After that incident, I lay in bed for several days. I didn't want to do anything and I didn't want to see anyone. About 3 days later, someone rang the doorbell at our house, and my mother thought it was my grandmother. Who knows? They might have a guilty conscience. She opened the door and came up to my room. "There's a guy calling you," my mother said. Disheveled, in a terrible state, I barely got up and went to the corridor, where I saw a guy. He was good-looking, a little taller than me, and oh no! How is that possible? He had the same long arms as me! I couldn't believe my eyes. It turns out that he found me on the internet thanks to photos distributed by my classmates. It was amazing. My parents and I talked to him for probably hours. He said that he was also born the same as me and never considered it a flaw. On the contrary, he used his gift in every possible way. That's what he called it. I cried so much that night. Just the thought that there was a person like me in the world made me so happy. His name was Eric, by the way. We became friends, and he also taught me how to direct my gift in the right direction. We started playing basketball together. Funny, isn't it? But it really worked. Although our height was not quite high, there were so many advantages to our arms. All the teams wanted us on their team. From that moment on, my whole life changed for the better. And, by the way, my grandmother still came with an apology. Even after 14 years, it's better late than never. So, friends, if you have some kind of defect, think about it. Maybe it's a gift.